Hello friends, I welcome you all again for this session of heat transfer. Now, in today's session, I'm going to start with a topic related to the performance of a given heat exchanger. Now, having studied with the different concepts of heat exchanger like LMTD method, right, we shall now in a stage to understand how better a heat exchanger is performing. Whenever two fluids flow into a heat exchanger, be it a parallel flow, counter flow, or a cross flow heat exchanger, how far they are able to exchange the energy, or in other words, how better they are in exchanging the heat between them with respect to the given area. Okay, that needs to be well understood, or it needs to be determined. So in order to determine the performance of the given heat exchanger, we are going to introduce to a new term called as effectiveness. Okay, so we are going to define a term effectiveness, which is basically a measure of how better a heat exchange occurs between the two fluids in a given heat exchanger. So let us define what is the effectiveness of a heat exchanger. Okay, so generally the effectiveness represented as eta or nu, you can say like that. So, okay, effectiveness is represented as nu. I'm sorry, it is represented as epsilon. Okay, so different authors use different terms, but in most of the textbooks you find this kind of notation for effectiveness. So which is in general is defined as the ratio of actual heat transfer. I write it as Q actual. I repeat, the ratio of actual heat transfer to the maximum possible heat transfer in the given heat exchanger. In the given heat exchanger is what is called as effectiveness. So we shall define it again. So the effectiveness of a heat exchanger is defined as the ratio of actual heat transfer that takes place in the heat exchanger to that of maximum possible heat transfer in the same heat exchanger. So this ratio is what is called as effectiveness. Obviously, this maximum possible heat transfer, it will occur at the ideal conditions. Okay, I'll discuss about this bit later, but for time being you understand maximum possible heat transfer is not actually possible in reality. Therefore, this ratio for all the different heat exchangers will always be less than 1. I mean to say the effectiveness value for any given heat exchanger is always less than 1. In other words, it will mean that the effectiveness or the performance of the heat exchanger is not 100% in reality, because effectiveness is less than 1. If suppose Q actual becomes equal to Q max, let's suppose like this, then by definition effectiveness will become equal to 1. So this represents that the heat exchanger is 100% efficient in exchanging the energy, which is practically not possible. I mean to say effectiveness cannot be equal to 1 in reality. Therefore, in most practical cases, whatever the heat exchangers we study or we analyze, okay, we will always find that their effectiveness is less than 1. Okay, so with this background, we shall further proceed to understand the various relations related to effectiveness. Okay, so by definition, okay, from the basics of heat exchanger, we already know that the actual heat transfer Q actual is nothing but Q. That is the actual rate of heat transfer that is occurring between the two fluids, which is already known to us with respect to the two fluids. So this Q, okay, which is nothing but the heat lost by the hot fluid, which is given by m dot h Cph into the temperature difference that occurs within the heat exchanger for hot fluid, that is Thi minus Tho. So this represents the heat lost by the hot fluid, that is Q, which is also equal to what? The heat gained by the cold fluid, okay, which is given by m dot c Cpc and change in temperature for cold fluid given by Tco minus Tci. Now we have already known that this m dot h into Cph is nothing but Ch. So therefore I write the expression as Q is equal to Ch. So this Ch stands for heat capacity of the hot fluid into Thi minus Tho. And similarly this should be equal to this m dot c into Cpc stands for capital Cc, representing heat capacity of the cold fluid. So Cc into Tco minus Tci. So this is the expression for Q actual. We can use any of these two ideally, because we assume that whatever the heat is being lost by the hot fluid will be always gained by the cold fluid. This is what is a main fundamental assumption we always make whenever we discuss a given heat exchanger. Okay, now this is the expression for Q actual. Now let us talk about the maximum heat transfer between the two fluids. So in order to do that, let me consider a parallel flow heat exchanger. Okay, let me draw the temperature profile diagram. So for parallel flow, already you know what is a temperature profile. It is something like this. So this is Thi, Tho, this is Tci, and this one is Tco. Now if you look at this temperature profile diagram, can you think for a while at which point in this heat exchanger, with what temperatures between the two fluids, the rate of heat transfer will be maximum? Take for example, if you consider at the inlet, the hot fluid is having a temperature Thi and the cold fluid will be having a temperature Tci. Since Thi is much larger than Tci, so once the two fluids enter at the inlet in the heat exchanger, you will, because of this great temperature difference, higher temperature difference, obviously the rate of heat transfer called as Q will be maximum at the inlet. But as the two fluids progress or flow into along the length of the heat exchanger, you will see that the temperature difference keeps on decreasing along the length of the heat exchanger. So therefore, as you go away from the inlet, the rate of heat transfer at any point in a heat exchanger will keep on decreasing. And finally, when they come out at the exit, you will see that the heat transfer rate between the two fluids having temperature Tho and Tco will be minimum. So at the outlet, heat transfer will be minimum. At the inlet, the heat transfer will be maximum. Okay, I hope this concept is clear for parallel flow heat exchanger. So in a given heat exchanger, okay, the maximum possible heat transfer will always occur when the two fluids are at inlet having temperature Thi and Tci. So with this, we shall write now the expression for Qmax as Cmin into Thi minus Tci, where Cmin is called as minimum heat capacity. Okay, Cmin is called as minimum heat capacity of the either of the two fluids. So with the minimum flow rate, if we can achieve maximum rate of heat transfer, then that is Cmin. Okay, so this is the expression which is a standard expression. We use it for maximum rate of heat transfer. Okay, therefore the effectiveness is now can be written as, okay, now I can write now two expressions for effectiveness, considering hot fluid one expression, considering cold fluid as the another expression. Let us write like this. So Q actual, when you consider hot fluid, so it is CH into THI minus THO divided by Q maximum is, it is C min into THI minus TCI. You can have a look at this. Effectiveness I have written based on, this is based on hot fluid, because the heat transfer is occurring from the hot fluid I have considered. So the rate of heat transfer is given by CH into THI minus TH naught. This is now actual heat transfer. That divided by the maximum heat transfer, C min into THI minus TCI. So this is the effectiveness formula when we consider hot fluid. Correct? Similarly, we can write the expression for effectiveness considering cold fluid as well. Let us write that. Now effectiveness, again it is Q actual by Q max. So if we consider now for cold fluid, we can write Cc into Tc naught minus Tci. This is the actual heat that is been obtained or gained by the cold fluid in the heat exchanger. So that divided by, again maximum heat transfer is C min into THI minus TCI. So this is one more expression, say it as equation 2. This is considering cold fluid. Okay, this is considering cold fluid, or you can say effectiveness based on the heat transfer rate of cold fluid. And the earlier one, which is this one, this is equation 1, say like this. So this is the expression for effectiveness considering the heat transfer rate from the hot fluid. So either of the two expressions, you can see like this. Either of the two expressions you can use so as to find out the effectiveness of the given heat exchanger, and you will yield the same value of effectiveness. Okay, so these are the two formulae we need to remember and we can use accordingly so as to calculate effectiveness. Okay, now moving on, using these two expressions, if you rearrange these one by one, we can write the expression for the outlet temperatures such as THO and TCO. Now after some time we will come to know why we are writing the expression for THO and TCO, the temperatures at the outlet. So I am going to rearrange these two expressions and I am going to arrive for an expression with representing TCO and THO. Okay, considering now equation 1, that is effectiveness based on hot fluid. Okay, so we have written it as CH into THI minus TH naught, which is the actual heat transfer to that of maximum possible, given by C min into THI minus TCI. Correct? So this is what we have written already. Now I told you from this expression we are going to rearrange and we are going to obtain the expression for outlet temperature of the hot fluid. Now let us do that. Now how it can be done? I'll bring this denominator to the other side like this. So we are going to get effectiveness into C min, that multiplied by THI minus TCI, that should be equal to CH into THI minus TH naught. Now further I'll bring this CH to this side, to the LHS now. Therefore we get effectiveness into C min, okay, divided by CH multiplied by THI minus TCI. That should be equal to THI minus TH naught. Correct? Now finally, as I told, we want to have an expression for THO. So what I'll do, I'll bring this THO to this side so that it becomes positive, and this whole term, okay, to the other side. Thereby we get an expression for THO. So therefore THO is equal to THI, I will write it as it is, minus this whole bracket, that is effectiveness into Cmin divided by CH, I'm just writing in this fashion, multiplied by THI minus TCI. This is the expression for the outlet temperature of the hot fluid. I repeat, the outlet temperature of the hot fluid THO is equal to THI minus of this term. Obviously, it is a common sense that whenever the hot fluid flows into the heat exchanger, okay, it keeps on losing the heat. So when it comes out at the exit of the heat exchanger, the temperature so called as THO is obviously lesser than THI, correct? So THI is much greater than THO, or THO should be always lesser than THI. So therefore THO is always lesser than THI by this bracket. I hope it is clear. I repeat, so THI or THO is lesser than THI by this much of value given by this bracket. Okay, so this is a standard expression we need to remember. Fine. In the same manner, we can again rearrange equation 2, that is for a cold fluid, and again we can obtain the expression for TCO. Okay. So let's consider again equation 2. So it is given by Q is equal to, effectiveness is equal to, that is based on cold fluid, actual heat transfer is Cc into TCO minus TCI. This will give us the heat gained by the cold fluid. Correct? The heat gained by the cold fluid. So that divided by maximum heat transfer, that is given by Cmin into THI minus TCI. Okay. Now again bring this denominator to this side in the same manner. So I can write it as effectiveness into Cmin THI minus TCI is equal to Cc into TCO minus TCI. Correct? Now bring this Cc again to the LHS. We can rewrite it as effectiveness into Cmin divided by Cc, that multiplied by THI minus TCI. That should be equal to TCO minus TCI. So again we are in a situation to write the expression for TCO, right? So we are writing it for TCO. Therefore bring this TCI to the other side. That will give us the expression for TCO. So therefore TCO finally is given by TCI plus, when it becomes to this side it will be plus, so TCI plus this term given by effectiveness into Cmin divided by Cc multiplied by THI minus TCI. So this is the one more expression for the outlet temperature of a cold fluid. Again you can note that in any of the heat exchanger, whether parallel flow or counter flow, whenever cold fluid flows into the heat exchanger with the temperature of TCI, it will keep on grabbing the heat, correct? So as it comes out, with that heat being gained, its temperature will be obviously increased. So therefore at the outlet the temperature is TCO, which should be always greater than, TCO is always greater than TCI irrespective of the flow arrangement. Hence TCO is greater than TCI by this much of value, which is given by this bracket. Correct? TCO is greater than TCI by this much of bracket. That's why it is plus. TCI plus something will give us TCO. Whereas Earlier one THO, it was TCI minus of something, because THO was less than THI. I hope these expressions are clear for you. You should understand this. And these two expressions are very easy to remember. No need to derive like this. Okay. If you can understand this concept, what I explained, it would be sufficient. Okay. So the relations looks very similar. Only thing that is changing is the heat capacity of the fluids. That is Cc here, there it is Ch. And there Thi minus of this bracket, here it is Tci plus of this bracket. They are the only changes you find in the expressions. Okay, so do remember these two expressions, which we are going to use them when we start with the discussion on the second method of analysis called as NTU method. Okay, thank you.